Hey, what's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another action-packed edition of CPA Reviewed. As always, I'm your humble host, Jeff Elliott, a licensed CPA in the state of Kansas, much to the chagrin of many. Happy Monday to you. Today is Monday, October 26th, 2015. Well, on today's show, we are going to switch it up a little bit. And so I was contacted by the good folks at the University of South Dakota Beta Alpha Psi, and they invited me to come speak to their Beta Alpha Psi meeting. Apparently they had heard of some strange outpost in CPA review world called Another 71, and they wanted to hear more about it and my take on the CPA exam. But since we here in Kansas drive horse-covered wagons and winter is coming, I decided it would be best if I made a video instead. So I asked them to submit some questions, and submit they did. There's about 25 or 26 questions here. And so if you are not in Beta Alpha Psi and you do not appreciate marketing messages, then you might want to shut this off now, because there are several questions about Ninja, but I will try to keep my Ninja answers as unspammy as possible. If you are in Beta Alpha Psi and you are watching this right now, I will try to answer as thoroughly, yet I will keep my answers short, succinct, and to the point. So here we go. Question number 1. What is the success rate of students passing the CPA exam the first time using Ninja? I have absolutely no idea. It's just not something that I track because, keep in mind, the first time pass rate for the CPA exam, according to NASBA, so the people who actually know that stuff, is about 30%. And so if the first time pass rate is 30% from NASBA, but yet the CPA review courses who make up the majority of candidates, so the majority of candidates use like these top 5 courses, if they all advertise a first time pass rate of like crazy high numbers, something doesn't add up there. And so the first time pass rate, again, for the CPA exam is 30%. The pass rate per section, so people who walk in to take FAR, about 50% will pass, about 50% will fail. And so if a company is advertising pass rates in the high 80s, 90s, whatever, like something doesn't add up there. And also people use Ninja in conjunction with another course, oftentimes, I suspect. And one of the questions that I doubt the CPA review companies are asking their candidates when they're coming up with these pass rates is, did you use any other material? So did you use company X's flashcards? Did you use Ninja MCQ? Which software did you use? So candidates tend to study with several different study materials, paid for, free, etc. And so ignore the CPA exam pass rate advertising, because it should have zero impact as far as what exam provider you go with, because no one verifies. There's no checks and balances in the CPA exam review industry as far as pass rate. So several companies have had the same pass rate for several years, and it doesn't change. Well, that's pretty strange. It's pretty incredible. And so because the CPA exam pass rate per section fluctuates. One month it'll be 46%, next month it'll be 50%, the next month it'll be 54%. And it fluctuates. And so all of that to say, ignore the pass rate stuff, because again, the first time pass rate from NASBA is 30%. So the math just doesn't add up there. I did do a poll once, and it was reasonably scientific. And essentially, candidates using Ninja MCQ who got to the review stage, which means that they answered every question correctly at least once. I think it had like 85 to 90% of those people passed. So, but anyway, more important to, and that's not even a scientific poll. That's almost anecdotal. More important than CPA exam pass rates when in my podcasts and in life, I go off on tangents. So more important than advertised pass rates in your selection of a CPA review course are questions such as, does this course match my learning style? So I hate PowerPoint. I need a live / instructor / talking head. So you should not buy a course that uses PowerPoint style lecture. Or, man, these talking heads really distract me. I just need a book. Well, don't buy a video course. You just need to get a book. Or, keep in mind that if you do things right, you'll be waking up in the morning at like 5 a.m. to study. So if an instructor's mannerisms just drive you absolutely nuts and the alarm clock goes off, you're like, no, I'm not getting up at 5 this morning to listen to that instructor do this weird thing that I can't stand. Or if you are up and you're hating life and you're chugging your coffee and you just can't take another minute more of this instructor, so you switch over to Facebook. Well, would you get up at 5 a.m. to check Facebook? Like, the status updates from 11 o'clock the night before when you last checked it, when you're laying in your bed with your iPhone. Maybe I'm the only one that's ever done that. Like, you wouldn't do that. And so make sure that it's someone that you can wake up to and at least tolerate. So for instance, if you can't stand the sound of my voice, my little Kansas twang, don't buy the Ninja Audio. And people have said that I say the word measure wrong, weird. I guess in the audio I said measure. Hey y'all, let's measure this. And so I have my quirks too, and that's okay. My voice might crack throughout this recording, and that's okay. Hopefully you'll still get some good stuff out of it. You might hate my beard. My wife happens to love it. That's why I get away with it. And plus, I'm self-employed. So as long as the wife loves it, I'm good to go. And you might hate my estate sale wall art behind me. That's okay. You don't have to buy my Ninja Audio. Okay, so some other considerations when you're buying a course. Learning style, we covered that. Instructor quirks, measure, covered that. What is the refund policy? So if you're going to drop a couple grand on a course, like if you decide that that's what you need to do, well, you get it. You open up the big box of stuff and you're like, well, this is kind of ghetto. I'm going to send this back. Wrong. Most of them have a very unfriendly return policy. So check it out. Read the fine print. Would you buy a $3,000 used car without test driving it first? No, because it might smell like grandma's dead cat. So make sure that you test drive your CPA review course by watching the demos. Any access restrictions? Does it expire after a certain point? If you buy a single section of Ninja MCQ, it expires after 3 months. But it's a pretty friendly price and a pretty friendly renewal price. You should know that. Does it expire after 18 months? Like, what is the expiration date? Does it never expire? Every other type of Ninja material comes with free updates until you pass. So all the Ninja stuff, free updates until you pass. Does this really expensive review course, like, do they charge $25 for a new textbook? Do they, like, or do you have to buy the whole course again? You need to find that out before you drop the equivalent of a really nice cruise. Any access restrictions like IP. So, if they have a mobile platform and you're on the train going to work and you're using LTE, and then you get to your office and you use their Wi-Fi, and then you get home and use your Wi-Fi. Well, you've just gone through like 3 or 4 IPs. Are you going to be locked out? Because they might have IP restrictions because they don't want people sharing the materials. Find that out. Question, that's kind of long-winded. It's only 10 minutes. Question 2, what is the cost of the program? The Ninja materials vary by cost. They're all very affordable, I can assure you. You can go to another71.com and check out all of the prices. They are very candidate-friendly. But the cost of the program should be a secondary or tertiary issue for you, as far as what, I think I used tertiary correctly in a sentence there, right? Like, this course that you're going to buy, it is they are going to hold your hand throughout CPA exam land. And so buy the course that you like. If it's really expensive, buy it. If the course that you like is dirt cheap like Ninja, buy it. Because ultimately, it's an investment. The most expensive courses, there is not a correlation. So a lot of times people correlate price with quality. And so, really, really cheap beer isn't as good as a really good double IPA or something like that, It's not the same in CPA exam land, however, because so you're buying a crazy expensive course. Well, these big organizations, they have huge staffs. I told you my voice is going to crack. They have huge overhead, like massive buildings, a lot of people on the payroll. Whenever someone visits like a Beta Alpha Psi chapter to give a presentation, that ain't free. Guess who's paying for that? You are paying for that. And so they have to make enough money to cover like all of their overhead, all of their travel, all of these conventions and conferences and student ambassadors all over the country, and have all of these accounting experts on staff to do their updates, and all the IT infrastructure and all of the massive advertising. They have to charge enough to cover all of that so that they can then make enough to have a profit. Some of them have shareholders. So who pays for all of that? You. So just because a course is crazy expensive, like, there's not a correlation there between price and quality. Granted, some of them have really slick interfaces, and so if you need a really slick interface and it's just banging, well, then that might be the course for you. Ninja's pretty good. It's a little ghetto, but people pass with it all the time, and I think it's pretty good. And I will say Ninja MCQ kicks any other software's butt out there. I will proudly say that. But I am not as polished as some accounting professor that they keep on retainer to do the Ninja audio. I think I'm also more entertaining to listen to. Who would you rather listen to 4 hours of auditing with? Me and my moderately funny jokes, or we're going to cover auditing and attestation. This is a 4.5-hour exam. So I don't know what that was, but you get the gist. So anyway, so lots of things to consider. Again, when you pay a lot of money for a course, what are you paying for? You're paying for the overhead and some snazzy presentation and polish on the interface. So, question 3, can you give a tutorial of the program to see how it functions? Sure, go to another71.com. You can download my free study planner. It comes with the section of the book, notes, audio, flashcards, and all of that good stuff. So you can demo it all for free. Ninja MCQ, there's also some screenshots there. Basically, Ninja MCQ, 6,400 or so AICPA licensed questions and simulations, 250 plus simulations, and it has all of the bells and whistles that you want. So just buy it. You'll like it. I guarantee you that you'll like Ninja MCQ. Check out my books and notes and audio and stuff to see if it's if you like it. What types of questions are used? AICPA licensed questions. So I have a license with the AICPA. Are there any special kinds of materials that Ninja offers? Ninja Notes and Ninja Audio are unlike any type of study guide or audio in CPA review land. They're just different, and I think they're pretty darn good. And so I'm a huge fan of audiobooks. I don't read a lot because I don't know if I have ADD or what, but I just get distracted. And so I listen to a lot of books. So I listened to a couple of years ago when the Steve Jobs biography came out, massive book. I listened to it like in 2 weeks. And so huge fan of audiobooks. I have a pretty good idea about what a good audiobook sounds like because I know how to keep a reader's attention or a listener's attention because I know what keeps my attention. So while you're driving along and you're listening to me drone on about audit sampling, I'm like, hey, listen to this. This is important. And it's a little bit unconventional, but I think the Ninja Audio is the best audio in the land. Of course, I'm 100% biased. The wrong way to do an audio is to take everything in the kitchen sink that's in your video course and throw it into an audio form. That doesn't work. People won't listen to it. And people basically they're just wasting their money. So if you have like a 15-hour audio over auditing, I think Ninja, I don't know. It's the last time I make that noise, I promise. The Ninja Audio is like 3 or 4 hours. And it's designed so you can listen to it over and over and over. Because when are you going to remember? One audio that you just like got through once and it was like walking on rusty nails just to get through it, or like the Ninja Audio, which if you have like a 30-minute commute, you can get through it in its entirety once a week, times 7 or 8 weeks while you study. You can get through it 7 or 8 times. And you are more likely to have the info stick on exam day. Ninja Book, I think Ninja Book is the best review book in the land for the simple fact that a lot of companies make their book like this big like telephone book. So apparently telephone books are still around because I still get them in my mailbox. And so it's just this big fat thing. Apparently they haven't heard of Google. But and so, consequently, so similarly, the CPA review industry, they just put out this big accounting phone book and you're supposed to read it. Well, you're not going to read that, which is why you buy a review course that costs several $1,000s because they open the book and they tell you what's in it and they tell you what you need to know. What if instead that you had a book that only included what you needed to know? And that's what the Ninja Book is. So I guess that's kind of special. Is there a schedule for deadlines to keep us focused and on task. The Ninja free study planner kind of has some a way for you to budget your time. Ultimately, you are going to have to be super disciplined to pass a CPA exam, because live classes are kind of a thing of the past. They're kind of like VHS tapes. I'm sure some companies still have them around, but why? And so, I mean, why have a live class when everything is just self-study? And so, so you are going to have to be super disciplined. The one benefit of a live class is that you physically have to go, and the downside is you can't study in your underwear. So, so you are going to have to be disciplined. Like, the best study planner in the world will not get your butt out of bed at 5 a.m. Okay. Are there contacts through the program if we are stuck on materials and or IT issues? I respond to IT issues really quickly. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of IT issues, but if you buy Ninja MCQ and it's a really, really cheap price, you don't necessarily get me on retainer if you need help. So, but I try to answer. So I don't guarantee it, but I do try to answer as many questions as possible. And I also provide the CPA exam forum, which is cool, not because of me at all. It's because of the good people at the Another71.com forum who are extremely helpful. So when someone has a question, it's like, hey, I don't understand this agency law question, like people who are taking the exam, who have passed and who passed a long time ago, they chip in. It's a true community, and it would not exist without them. So, by the way, even if you don't buy anything from me ever, please contribute at the Another71.com forum. It's pretty sweet. Okay. How do I compare and contrast my product to what other courses offer? It's better in a lot of areas. It's not as polished in some areas. So, some courses have really slick videos. There are some really good instructors in the industry. But you also pay a lot of money. You're going to drop $2,000 plus, for that instruction. There are some really good instructors in the industry who know their stuff. As of this recording, I don't have videos. So I'm not sure that I need them, or that people who are interested in Ninja even want them. But I might have them in the future. But so Ninja does not have videos. Ninja has Blitz, which is like PowerPoint slides, and that's kind of like a cram. And so I already said I think Ninja Book is better than everyone else's book. I'm 100% biased again. I think Ninja MCQ is better than everyone else's software. Ninja Notes, pretty good. Ninja Notes is not comprehensive. It's a little bit random. So if you're looking for Ninja Notes to kind of be kind of like this walkthrough study guide, it's not. It's what I think is going to be on the exam. It's like, okay, you went through your big Mamba Jamba $2,000 review course, but here are the things that you really need to have stuck in your head for exam day, stuff that you might have forgotten. That's what the Ninja Notes is. So that kind of makes it special. It's not just, if it's in the Ninja Notes, you need to know it. Ninja Audio, it's special because of my Kansas twang. What makes Ninja's product superior to those on the market, and how can you maintain that advantage at your price point? I don't have the massive overhead, and I have some super secret ninjas in the dojo, but who help me. But aside from that, it's just me, and I do the product updates, and consequently, I'm pretty good at product updates. And so there's been times, especially on Section 179 for regulation, where I've gotten the 179 number correctly, and other courses had it wrong. And they're like, Jeff, you're wrong. And I'm like, no, they're wrong, and here's why. Oh, Jeff, you're the man. Thanks. So it's those small little victories that get me throughout that get me through the day. Again, there are some really good courses out there, and they're also very expensive. And so choose wisely. How does the adaptive learning feature in Ninja adapt if the user guesses correctly but does not fully understand the material? If you're going to guess in Ninja MCQ, click the question mark button. Then you can still see the answer, but it will mark it as you did not know it, so it doesn't mess up your adaptive learning. Once we purchase the software, how long can we use it? Is there a limit? If you don't pass the first time, do you have to pay again? Or is the material available until you pass? Ninja comes with free updates until you pass. Unless I switch to a subscription model, which I'm considering, but forget that for now. Whatever offer you buy Ninja under, you're grandfathered into that. So for right now, if you buy Ninja, you get free updates until you pass, and you'll always be grandfathered in. I will always treat you right, and you never have to worry about me not treating you right, because I treat people the way that I would want to be treated, and I'm extremely fair. So, and I always err on the side of just taking people's word for it. And one other thing about me, there's not like levels of like bureaucracy. So take any CPA review course and try to get a hold of the owner or the instructor through email. Oh wait, you can't. So for the most part, I answer my own emails. I cannot keep if I get 100 emails in a day, I try to answer them as many as possible, especially people who need help, especially study advice. But there's a few exceptions, but for the most part, you send a company a lot of money, you can't get their instructor through email or social media. And I try to answer questions in podcasts just like this. And so the software, it has a timer. The timer is noted on the sales page. So, but I've tried to make it very affordably priced. And so if you need to, it is priced. So like Ninja MCQ right now is $47 for 3 months, and which is one testing window. So why pay $150, $200 for a whole year of regulation if you pass it after one testing window? So basically, I'm not pre-charging you for updates. So how does Ninja use the old CPA exam questions, and are those questions available to students taking the test? I have a license from the AICPA, and those are all in there. How do I access Ninja? And I said earlier, if you don't like marketing messages, you're gonna hate this video. So I warned you. How do I access Ninja? Through a website, or is it in a paper medium? Ninja MCQ is through a website. Ninja Blitz is through a website. Ninja Notes is downloadable on a tablet. You can print it out. Ninja Audio is downloadable. Put on your phone. Put on your MP3 player. People still use those. Listen to it on your desktop. So you can have Ninja Audio at your desk. So if you want a sneaky way of studying at work, listen to Ninja Audio on your desk or through headphones. They'll never know. Ninja Book is downloadable. You can print it out. Ninja Notes, you can print it out. You can put it on your tablet, whatever. What experience do you, Jeff, have with taking the CPA exam? I started the CPA exam back in 2005. I was the world's worst CPA exam candidate. I am the world's worst ever. Basically, I would come home from work and I would do what any responsible person does after they come home from work when they're trying to study for the CPA exam, I would sit down and play Madden. And I think back then I had a PlayStation 2. So my MO was I would play Madden, and then a week before my exam, I'd be like, oh, I should probably study. And then I'd go in and I would fail it. And then I wonder, man, how in the world did I fail again? The CPA exam clearly is not for me. Woe is me. I think I'll play some more Madden. And so I did that for 3 years. It's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I guess I was insane for 3 years. My wife came to me and said one day, hey, me and the kids, we love you, but it's time to either do this or not do this. As Yoda would say, there is no try. And so I said, you know what? I think I'll do this. And then I went on to pass. Along the way, I lost my FAR credit. So I passed FAR, and then passing FAR kind of felt like passing the CPA exam. So I did, again, what any responsible candidate would do. I took a whole year off. I'm good. I passed FAR. I'm good. That's kind of like passing the CPA exam. And then all of a sudden, I need to pass regulation or I'm going to lose my FAR credit. So I got a 74 on regulation. Darn. Well, you know what? I'm going to take regulation again, but I'm not going to study AMT, like-kind exchanges, with or without a mortgage. I'm not going to study 1231, 1245, 1250 assets because I hate them, and I'm just going to study again. Well, wouldn't you know it, I got another 74, and I lost my FAR credit. Now, losing a CPA exam credit kind of feels like the worst thing in the world. It's really not. But losing a FAR credit truly does feel like the worst thing in the world, and it actually might be. And so not only, so like one point, and I would have been a CPA. Instead, I was back to having to repass FAR and figure out how in the world was I going to get from a 74 to a 75 on reg. Well, I figured it out. I studied everything that I studied before on reg, except this time I studied AMT, 1231, 1245, 1250, and like-kind exchanges. And what do you know? I scored a 92 on regulation. And then I took FAR and I passed it my next time. So I am the poster child for laziness. Let me complete that sentence. I was very lazy, and I had some work ethic issues to work through there. And once I decided to stop being lazy, I was good to go. And so I am the poster child for what not to do taking the CPA exam. So, and if you want to read more, so if for anyone watching this video, if you're watching this video and your spouse is like giving you a hard time about the exam, it's like, hey, it's time. Well, download my CPA exam survival guide, and I walk you through how not to be a horrible spouse while you're taking the CPA exam, because I was a horrible spouse. What is your best tip that you could give to a prospective CPA exam taker? My best tip ties back into work ethic. Don't start the CPA exam until you are ready to work your butt off. And I mean, study 20 hours a week. If you're not studying 20 hours a week, you're in busy season? Too bad. I went through 2 busy seasons, so I can kind of say that, although I wasn't studying. So you can kind of think I'm a jerk. No, you can study through busy season, and you might not be able to get 20 hours a week. You might be able to get 10 to 15, but you can still study during busy season. So don't start the CPA exam until you are 100% committed. Okay? Don't dabble. Don't dabble in the CPA exam. For one thing, the CPA exam process is miserable. So be in it for as short of an amount of time as possible. Get in, get her done, get out. Okay, don't dabble. So like, you don't have to be like crazy smart to pass the CPA exam. Passing the CPA exam means that means that you have met the minimum requirements to serve the public interest. Okay? It doesn't mean that you're an accounting expert. The public probably thinks that you're an accounting expert, and when you tell, Aunt Sally or your friends at church or Little League or whatever that you passed, they're going to think that you're an accounting expert, and consequently, they're going to want you to do their taxes for them. And you might think, man, I scored a 75 on reg, and most of that was because of business law. I didn't do great on individual tax. They don't know that. And so you are going to have to really work to pass the CPA exam. So for those of you who are watching who are in Beta Alpha Psi, you're in Beta Alpha Psi because you likely have really good grades. That's what Beta Alpha Psi is. You have good grades. And so there are people who have really good grades who go in and fail their first section of the CPA exam. And it's because they coasted through college because college was kind of easy. The CPA exam is not easy. It's not easy if you don't work hard. And so you can take someone who is kind of an okay student and they can work really hard while studying for the CPA exam and they can nail it. You can take someone who has a 4.0 and cum laude and all this stuff, and if they took my early approach with the CPA exam, just kind of farting around, that's a technical term, you will likely fail. And then you're like, oh, it's such a disaster. I'm such a failure. How can I ever tell my dad that I failed? He's going to think that I'm such a failure. Well, no, you're not a failure. You were just lazy. And it's okay to be lazy if you learn from your mistake. Learn from your mistake and then go do something about it. So that's my tip. What's the best way to pace oneself for the CPA exam? Just pedal to the metal. 7 to 8 weeks per exam. Like I said, get her done. Does Ninja include a study guide? Yes. Ninja Notes. If you're looking for something comprehensive, Ninja Book. Comprehensive but not overwhelming. When do you suggest starting to study with your materials? How far in advance for the CPA exam? Don't start studying any materials until you are ready to start your 6 to 7 to 8 week process for your exam. So if you're taking FAR and you're going to study 7 to 8 weeks, start studying 7 to 8 weeks out. Don't, you're taking the exam in the fall. Don't start kind of looking at the FAR book during vacation. No, enjoy your vacation. So my thesis of the CPA exam, when you study, study. When you don't study, when you aren't studying, don't study. Pretty pithy. So never take your review materials with you on vacation. Either schedule your vacation for right after your exam or account for the fact that when you get home from your vacation that you're going to have to study really hard. Don't dabble. Don't dabble. So when you're on vacation, be on vacation. When you're at work, be at work, except for the Ninja audio. Shh. When you're at a restaurant, be at the restaurant. Put your stupid phone away. So anyway, I'm guilty of that too. But and also, when you're at the mall, put your phone down. I almost ran into you last week. Why was I at the mall? That's another story for another day. Okay, when you study, study. So when you're with your family, when it's friends, loved ones, family time, whatever, don't have a conversation with your kids while you're doing multiple choice questions. Just do one thing and do it with excellence. So, and that includes taking breaks. Take your breaks with excellence. What is something unique about your program? I am very accessible. So for better or worse, I answer most of my emails. I interact with people on social media. You can get a hold of me. Again, try getting a hold of, like, pick your big $2,000, $3,000 course. Try getting them to answer you directly. What order do you suggest taking the 4 sections in? I would take FAR, auditing, regulation, and BEC. So there's obviously overlap between FAR and auditing. And there's some overlap between FAR and regulation in terms of deferred taxes. There is some auditing and regulation overlap in the areas of professional responsibilities and ethics. I recommend taking the hardest part first, which is FAR. So people debate about it. It's FAR. FAR is the hardest exam. The only way that I would switch this up is if, like, let's say that you have only 6 weeks to study. So you take FAR, you have 6 weeks. So maybe it's at the end of February or something. It's late January. You want to take another exam late February before the dead month. Take BEC, because you can study 6 to 7 weeks. So FAR, 7 to 8 weeks. Auditing, 7 to 8 weeks. Regulation, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. BEC, 6 to 7 weeks. Study 20 hours a week. If you're not studying 20 hours a week, you are not studying. What components, books, flashcards, note cards, videos, lectures, questions are included with the Ninja review? All of them. All of those. So Ninja is comprehensive and complete. So the book and the MCQ are comprehensive. That's your main course. You can pass using only those. The notes, audio, flashcards, blitz, those are supplementary. You study those during your downtime when you otherwise couldn't. Like, you're in the grocery aisle. You're like, if you are going to walk around the mall staring at your phone, please stare at my flashcards, not Instagram or Facebook updates. I'm probably graduating after 2017. How is the exam going? How is the exam change going to affect me? Can Ninja review prepare me for the change? So don't worry about that until after 2017. The 2017 CPA exam, it's kind of going to be a bear. The review providers, not only do they have to get the content updated, everyone has to reprogram their software. Like really AICPA, really? Why do we have to go do that? Why couldn't we leave well enough alone? Just kidding. Sort of. All right. The exam change isn't going to affect you because that's going to be your reality. So when people back in 2010, so auditing, regulation, and FAR used to all have written communications. And now they don't. And they've all shifted to BEC. Well, people were freaking out. When FAR added IFRS back in 2010, people freaked out. In 2013, when they clarified auditing standards, you had to know the clarified standards and what they called the extant standards, the old way. So you had to know the old way and the new way. And that's after July 2013 exams and beyond. People were like, well, people still passed, and people will still pass the 2017 and 2018 exam. I predict the pass rates would go just like they did back in 2010. But eventually, they will climb back up. So everyone's going to be okay, though. It is going to kind of stink. With the changing industries, how often does Ninja update with current rules and regulations? We update twice a year. So, and oftentimes if there's like an interim update, like, effective October 15th, then those are updates where, like for extraordinary, like for instance, extraordinary items, that's only testable on the exam right now because the new way because early adoption is permitted. And so you have to know the old way and new way. But for the most part, so like tax law changes mid-year because, not to delve into the minutia too much, but the CPA exam test on tax law that was or 6 months after its effective date or its enactment date, whichever is later. So that means from July 2015 through June 2016, which is actually a dead month. So May 2016, the 2015 tax law is going to be tested. So I stay up on updates and have done pretty well so far. What is the hardest exam of the four? When do you recommend taking the hardest exam? Take it first. Final question. Do you suggest using multiple study resources? Yes. So whatever course you use, that's not a bad idea to add a second software or test bank as they're known in the industry. There's no harm in that. And I think it's a pretty good idea. Unless you have Ninja MCQ, then you really don't need anything else. But I can contradict myself. So whatever course you're using, it doesn't hurt to add some supplementary materials because you get another company's perspective on the material, another flavor. You're using your crazy $3,000 course, and you want to get some guy from Kansas's audio. Well, that's a pretty good idea to listen to on your commute. So using multiple study resources is a pretty good idea, I think. But I'm biased. I'm 100% biased because I sell supplementary material. So take that with a grain of salt. Well, just over 45 minutes. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you again to Beta Alpha Psi from the University of South Dakota. If you are in Beta Alpha Psi and you want to contact me, Jeff at another71.com, I will send everyone in your chapter some goodies. You'll be happy that you emailed me, so pass that along. And so thank you again. I hope this has been helpful. And good luck with everyone's exams. Be good. Take care. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and I will talk to you soon.